The war in Ukraine, it's personal. A few days ago, I shared from my heart about the potential for war in Ukraine, and now the unthinkable has happened. Russia has invaded Ukraine, and a war has begun. It's pretty hard not to be political about the situation that has such global impact. All the news outlets are covering that in a variety of ways, but my heart is drawn back to the people, the individuals who are caught up in the war, our ministry friends. No, they're more than that. They are simply friends. They're family. They're followers of Jesus. They're proclaimers of His truth, and they are hurting. You may remember our friend Alicia, who lives in the Donbas region, a place under conflict since 2014. She works, as her family has, at a station that is supported by Far East Broadcasting Company. When I asked her if she was leaving, her reply was swift. God protected us in 2014. He can protect us in 2022, or He'll call us home. She went on to say, He has called us to share His light in the darkness. But authorities in that area instructed those living there to evacuate, to leave all behind, to get out of immediate harm's way, and maybe to never return.
We're in Slavyansk, leaving home. It's 6:07. Here's my husband. This is my home. Our cats, our children, and here we go.
What if that were you? How would you feel? As of this morning, Alicia tells me they have still not arrived at a safe place to stay. Not yet, anyway. Prior to having to leave, Alicia had texted me and she said, please pray for a Ukrainian nation to repent before God and be strong and not to lose faith as we face hardships and temptations. She went on to say, I believe that Ukraine will be a great blessing to Europe. Revival will come to Ukraine and then from Ukraine around the world. May God lead us and protect us. That is so powerful. Veronica is a young Christian journalist who has helped us with the media training conferences that Media Alliance has held for years in Kyiv. Her description of the opening moments of the war, the explosions going off in the early morning hours, seeking what to do from her parents, with no one knowing what to do or what to expect, and certainly not expecting to have to shelter, not in Kyiv, not in the capital. She later texted me and said, we are 8 adults, 2 children. We're in the basement, writing, and it still feels like a terrible dream, but we will remember this morning for the rest of our lives. Well, I heard from Veronica today. She texted me and said, now there are 10 adults and 5 children, and we're hiding in the basement of a church. Our great friend and ministry partner, Ruslan, who heads up the Christian Media Association in Ukraine, sent me a reflection on his first 24 hours of the war. He said, my family has been on its feet since 5:40 in the morning, and so are all the families of the whole country. What is happening is so terribly cinematic that at rare moments it even seems unreal, but because it doesn't happen in reality. It only happens in the plots of movies and history books. Ruslan talked about the bravery of the Ukrainian military, the police, and others defending their country. And Ruslan concluded with this: we in Ukraine today are more united than ever because now everything is very simply clear. There are only 2 colors, white and black. There are only 2 categories, good and evil. There are only 2 statuses, defender and aggressor. It has become completely impossible to get confused. And Ruslan concluded by saying, God, help us. We need God's miracle. There's Andre, a pastor who has served as a translator for us on several occasions. In an impassioned video, he pleaded for people to stand up, to be vocal, and to pray for Ukraine. When I share with these folks that so many of you are praying for them, these Ukrainian friends are so grateful. Your prayers touch these dear folks' hearts, and they touch the heart of God too. So please, don't stop praying. The resolve of the Ukrainian people is amazing. World political and military leaders have been amazed at that, and it is no less true for God's warriors. Many are sharing their faith and pointing people to Jesus as our source of hope. Others are openly praying on the streets of Kyiv and other cities. And some are taking their message of hope in God to the people in a very public place, like the underground passageways leading to the subways. I encourage you to pray for our sovereign God to intervene in a way that brings Him glory, that protects His people and a people that the Lord loves and for whom He died. And indeed, may revival break out, not just in Ukraine and Europe, but in our own hearts. God's best.